Hey guys, this is Mayan Gordon. We are back for our daily live stream, and I'd like to know if I can ask you a kind of personal question. That question is, do you have any bad habits that you're trying to break? If you do and you're willing to share, go ahead and drop them in the comments, because the reason I asked this question is I want to support you. I also want to destigmatize bad habits. And even the word bad habit is something I think that has this kind of emotion behind it that, shame on you for doing this thing that you kind of want to not be doing. And instead, I think, instead of saying bad habits, let's just call them negative habits. Because they have negative consequences for you in your life. And maybe that's why you want to cut them out of your life. But I just wanted to start a quick discussion through this video in the comments on this post. What do you do when you're trying to break a negative habit? How do you go about that successfully? I think this is one of the things that human beings universally struggle with, right? Like none of us are perfect. And certainly even when we get into those strides in our life where it feels like we've got things nailed down, it feels like we're hitting things perfectly, that never lasts forever, right? Even if we get into our zone, our sweet spot in life, everything's cruising, inevitably we are going to fall out of that zone and into some negative patterns. And for me, what I found are a couple things are really helpful. So I'll go ahead and share with you guys, what are some of my habits that I'm trying to break, and how am I doing that? I would say for me, the biggest one is negative habits that form around boredom. I get bored very easily, which is part of why I tend to have so many different projects going on. It's part of my success for sure, but it also can be a dangerous thing. In high school, I started smoking weed all the time. I started shoplifting. I started doing all sorts of things that were very negative in my life simply because I was just bored. And today, I think, one of the biggest things I struggle with and one of the habits that forms for me if I'm not careful, again, it'll never go away because boredom is something that, right, it doesn't disappear forever. Even if you're entertained and engaged for a portion of your life, like you can fall back into boredom, especially because anything that we do repeatedly, we get used to as human beings. It's, again, something really awesome, also something kind of dangerous in our lives. But for me, I like to eat when I'm bored. I love food so much. And even though over the past, 2 weeks now, since I've kind of recovered from COVID, my smell and my taste is not back completely. It's starting to come back just a tiny itty bit. But I still really enjoy eating when I'm bored. Just the act of eating, I love the textures of the food, even if I can't really taste them. And so, this is a habit, eating in a way that does not do my body the best that it could possibly be, supporting me health-wise or energy-wise, is something that I've routinely battled with in my life. I'm sure many of you guys can relate, right? Especially, I'm one of those people, I'm actually super good in the mornings. I almost never eat kind of foods that aren't healthy for me before noon or 1 or 2. My danger zone's at nighttime, right? Where you go, I've done so much great work today. I deserve a cookie. I deserve a cupcake. That slice of cake is looking real good right now. So I have a couple, habits that I've developed to combat this, right? And everything it's almost like good habits battling against negative habits. What's up? Good morning. I'm going to say some good mornings to Sunny Winter. How's it going? And Yogesh and Muhammad. Hope you guys had an incredible weekend. So my first one, specifically when it comes to food, is if I don't buy it, I won't eat it. So if I can be disciplined just when I'm at the grocery store, it's way easier to be disciplined when I'm at home because there simply aren't unhealthy foods to eat and snack from. So I would say that can be more broadly applied to environment, right? What your environment is, who's in your environment, the setup of your environment can have a profound impact on any of your habits, good or bad, negative or positive. So that's number one. But what about when that's not working? What about when I'm only buying healthy things at the grocery store, but I'm still somehow, getting bored and wanting to go out to the store randomly to buy my cookies? The next thing that I think this, again, applies in every area, whether it's a food habit, whether it's a reading habit, whether it's an exercise habit, is asking for help, asking for support. So when I'm really struggling with eating healthy, I go to my husband, I say, hey, Ben, I'm really trying to eat healthier. But as you can see, I'm not doing a great job. I'm not living up to the standard that I want to hold myself accountable to. Could you help me with that? And most of the time he'll come out and be like, sure, how do I help you? And then I'm like, I don't want to answer these questions. You're supposed to know how to help me, right? Like, no. So then it's kind of a conversation around, okay, well, here are my observations about my experience. What are some of your thoughts around that? So I'll be like, I think that one of the times that I get really bored is after I've done a lot of work and I want to relax. And that seems to be sometimes when I'm eating more unhealthy foods. Do you have any ideas about how I can switch that up or change things so that I'm not so tempted to eat unhealthy foods, right? So you have a conversation with someone, but it starts with asking for support and asking for help. So those are the 2 tips that I want to leave you guys with today. I'd love if you ever have struggled with negative habits in your life. If you're struggling with them now, go ahead and post in the comments, share with everyone in this community. What are some things you've done that have worked for you? Or what are even some things that you're thinking about trying? And if you're looking for an incredible community who is going to support you, who's going to always be there for you, check out my Inner Circle. I would love for you guys to join my Inner Circle private Facebook group. It's filled with people like me who are ambitious, accountable, positive, supportive, and we are all there to support each other as well as share information, resources in that group. So check the link down in the comments. You guys, it is $7 per month, and I guarantee an ROI on that investment. And if you don't feel like you got value out of the $7 per month, I will give you a refund. So it's 100% money back guarantee. I created this group to create value for you guys, to create support, the type of support that I didn't feel I had the first 8 years of being a solopreneur in business. So I would love to see you guys join that community. You guys have an amazing day. We'll be back for another segment tomorrow.